if anyone wants some advice on how to be really successful on YouTube or minorly successful, I guess, have ADHD. That really helps. It's
Oh,
brilliant because you can
That
go
that
from doing all these different types of jobs, and it's very on the other side. If you have ADHD, then you should also do a job like this because you're constantly doing different things, and it's ticks all those boxes
it
that are
does.
going around in your brain.
It's funny you say that because I'm like that. I get hyper focused. Okay, so let's say I get on a subject. So right now, Chris from Jupiter Effects sent this out. Okay, so it's Super Distortion. That's his favorite pickup, and I'm working on doing a video about Tom Scholz, the guitar player from Boston, old '70s band, and that's the pickup he used. Now I have a fuzz from the Legend series from JHS. It's the Berkeley, and apparently he used that fuzz to get his tone back in the 1970s, but he didn't use it on everything. Excuse me. He used it very specifically for certain things, and right now I'm going down the rabbit hole of figuring out what he played, what speakers were in the cabinet, like the whole thing. Okay, and I get tunnel vision and. Time doesn't exist anymore. I can be doing this for like 8 hours. And at some point I go, fuck, I got to eat. I didn't eat today. Oh, wow. Okay. So then I go eat and then I come back because I can't leave it alone. I have to do it until I'm
terrible.
completely exhausted and my mind cannot run anymore. Like the little hamster's dead. Okay. Then I go to bed. And as I'm trying to like go to sleep, then I go, you know what you forgot, you idiot? What kind of strings was he using? Ah, fuck. And then I'm right back at it.
oh, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And it's I guess that makes makes three of us here. It's it's the same thing. I have my head in 10 different things, and apparently the only way to eliminate the list of things is to kind of erase them from the moment, erase them from my life. It's so difficult for me. And the problem is I have these 10 things going on and I'm working on them all at the same time. But then in my day-to-day life, like my wife tells me something, it's like, hey, can you please do this? And I'm like, yes. 1 minute later, what the fuck did she say? Shit, I forgot.
Yeah, but that's just marriage, right? Surely every man I know has done that.
To a degree, yeah.
You just, or not even marriage, just a partnership, like anything. Yeah. You just, the voice becomes another noise.
Before Frank and I started this podcast, we were like just exchanging messages over like Facebook Messenger, and we were like talking for hours, just like, what about this piece of gear? Did you try this? Have you tried this in combination with that? And I looked at my wife. I said, I think I just found my hetero soulmate. We can talk about gear for hours. She's like, that's nice. I'm like, no, but I don't have to tell you that stuff anymore, right? Because my wife, she's been hearing me talk about this for 20 years. So just, I'm going off script here, but she has a work colleague who's a bass player. And he comes up to my wife and he tries to talk shop with her because he knows that she knows a little bit about gear. And sometimes she goes, I'm just looking at him and I have no fucking clue what he's saying because he seems to think I know as much as you do. I'm like, well, that's a nice problem to have. She goes, no, I gave him your number. Like, talk to my husband. I don't know what the hell you're talking to me for. Yeah, so I changed a pickup in my bass. And it's like, yeah, that's what happens when they go out with musicians who have, ADHD. I'll tell you why silicon and germanium are not the same and whether you want to know it or not.
That used to, when I was still working in retail, that was the thing that bothered me the most. That if you went out to just have a beer with a couple of people and then someone told another person that, hey, this is my buddy Frank, he works at this music store, blah, blah, blah. And then they came around and immediately started a 19, I'm calling them a 19-inch conversation because it's like the rack format. Because it's that, then it's suddenly it's all about gear. And you've been talking with customers about gear literally for 8.5 hours. And then somebody in the bar comes up to you and is like, hey, so I was always wondering, that amp, you know? And I'm like, oh, fuck me. I need to get out of here. It is absolutely terrible.
Isn't that what doctors the doctors never tell people they're doctors at parties? You know, oh, I've got this thing with my knee. You know, I've been with sick people all day. This must be the slightly less educated gear equivalent. only slightly less.
I can just imagine the guy like, you're a doctor, right? Yes. Yeah, I got this wart. Can I show you? No, I'm not that kind of doctor. I'm like an astrophysicist.